Hi guys, welcome to What the Fats number 3. So in the last video I talked about LDL, which is basically the bad fat, the bad cholesterol in our body. Today it's all about the good stuff. Let's talk about you and your fats. So to recap from the last video, LDL is a cholesterol that takes the fat from your liver and it takes it out to your bloodstream, but when there's too much of it, it ends up causing fatty streaks in your blood vessels, which eventually form plaques, and they can lead to lots of different cardiovascular diseases like heart attacks, strokes, and aneurysms. So today I'm focusing on high density lipids, also known as HDL. So their main job is to take all these extra fats and extra lipids from your LDLs or wherever else they may be, take them and transport them to your liver. So remember from the last video, the liver is important in metabolizing different fats and different lipids. So one of the things that it does, it helps store the fat and it stores it in the liver. Another thing it does is it puts it into bile. So bile is an important liquid that is made from your liver and it's stored in your gallbladder. When we eat, the gallbladder squeezes out some bile and this helps us digest and absorb some of the food that we eat. So simply put, the HDL takes all this fat that's floating around in our blood vessels, takes it to the liver, and the liver excretes it through the bile, through the gallbladder, and through our intestines. So it's not staying around in our blood vessels, thereby not causing the damage and not causing fatty streaks and eventually causing plaques. And you can see this is why HDL is known as the good cholesterol. It protects our blood vessels from formation of plaques, eventually protecting us from heart attacks, strokes, aneurysms, and all those other problems. So what we should be looking for is to increase the level of HDL in our body. And from last week's video, we should be looking to decrease the amount of LDL in our bodies. From this, the doctors can see how much LDL you have in comparison to how much HDL you have. Of course, if you have more LDL, it means you're higher risk of getting some of these diseases. If you have higher HDL, it means you're less risk of getting some of these diseases. So how do we make sure that we're increasing the amount of HDL and decreasing the amount of LDL in our body, thereby protecting our cardiovascular system? So there are lots of different types of fats in our diet, and some fats increase our LDL, which is what we don't want. So we have to be aware of which foods contain these fats and making sure that we're decreasing them. There are also foods that have fats and lipids that increase our HDL. So these are the foods that we're supposed to be taking more of. So in the next couple of videos, I'm going to talk about the different types of fats that we find in our food and how those fats in our food affect the cholesterol and the fats in our bodies. And I'm also going to talk about how do we look out for these fats and how do we read labels to know if we're getting the right fat or the wrong fat. And this is something that takes quite a bit of practice. It's something I'm quite new to doing. So I'm going to have my first guest on my videos, a nutritionist who's going to help us explain how to look out for these things in the food that we buy. Today's video has been quick and short, but hopefully in combination with the last video, it's given you some insight into how LDL and HDL work in our body and how they can help either prevent or cause certain diseases. As always, thank you so much for taking your time to watch this, and I'll see you next time for What the Fat Part 4. See you next time. Bye.